Yeah, so I'd like to welcome everyone and thank you for spending some time with us this evening to hopefully learn something. And we're looking forward to your support of what John and myself and the Learning and Development District Committee think is a interesting opportunity for our district. So tonight's meeting or presentation is being delivered by John Crosser. He's also a member of my Rotary Club, Calgary Fish Creek. And he also sits on the Learning Development Committee with me. So the meeting tonight is scheduled for 1 hour. And as you probably seen, it is being recorded. I'd ask that everyone please turn off your audio so that we can minimize noise distractions. And in the interest of time management, I kindly ask that you hold off your questions. I'm sure you'll have lots. To allow John to go through his presentation, and then we can address your questions at the end. And if you think you might during that time frame forget your question, you can always jot it down in the chat, and which I will also be monitoring. So with that, John, please take it away.
Well, very good. Welcome, everyone. Again, my name is John Crosser. I am in Calgary here. It is I was just out in the mountains. We went up to the observatory. So I guess we were in the foothills last night. And I'm, at the end of the day, I started thinking, well, why am I living in Calgary when I can live out in the country where there's nice and beautiful landscape and all kinds of things out there. So again, traveling outside of Calgary, stress level just goes right down. So I love it every time I get out. So it's good stuff. Anyway, thank you for sharing your time tonight. And obviously, thank you for taking a lead in your leadership positions with your Rotary clubs and even in our district. I mean, it doesn't go unnoticed, although we sometimes feel it goes unnoticed. And also, thank you for obviously making a difference in our youth. Like many of you, I've spent really my whole life, my whole adult life, working and trying to improve the lives of our, certainly our next business owners, our next and great employees, our next community leaders, and also our next politicians. So at the end of the day, it's up to us to mentor and train these guys and coach them up to help them reach their best potential. And what we would like to do tonight is we want to shine a light on some of the things that we've been doing over the past few years. And then also we'd like to share some of the reasons why we're actually doing what we're doing. And then also we hope that we can gain the support for the district to really continue moving forward how we see as being a best fit for our district. And so I know as a few Rotarians, we've been working on these programs for quite a while. But we really came together with a shared interest. And that interest really was to find a way that we could help our local teens make better career and better financial decisions. And again, it's not an easy task. There's lots of moving parts that go along with it. And it's just trying to get all the moving parts forward and together so that we can do the best thing possible to help our kids make, again, better decisions and have better, safer, stronger communities in the future. So with that, I want to move on to the first slide. We believe that, there we go. So we really believe that there's two components to our career and financial wellness project. The first component of it is a career choice webinar that we've been running for a couple of years, and I'll talk more specifically towards the end about that. And then moving forward, we would like to really host an Adventures In program called Career and Financial Wellness Camp. And so by providing these camps, we're certainly going to be well on our way to creating stronger and safer communities. So it really helps for us to start dreaming big. For example, so what would our communities and workplaces look like if we had more trust, we have better relationships, if we were able to achieve goals, if we actually started living a life that full of intention so that we could leave a legacy, Our communities would probably be more inclusive, they'd be more diverse, and they'd probably be more equitable. But that's if we're providing our youth with financial wellness. And again, what would our communities and workplaces look like if our youth transitioned into adulthood a bit more easily? Again, by providing financial wellness, we can help them make that transition. And certainly when it comes to providing safer communities, and as soon as we start reducing crime, again, by providing financial wellness, our communities will be bigger, stronger, and will be stronger and faster. No, not stronger and faster, they'll be stronger and safer. Certainly our families, what would happen to our communities and workplaces if our families were more unified? Again, by providing financial wellness. And also, what would our communities and workplaces look like if we had more teens involved in our Rotary programs? And again, you can see the variety of videos that are up there. Those are all live videos that we have that support all of our programs. Now, there's a few of the videos that aren't done yet, but we'll share those in a second. But we know that that if we provided our youth and the financial facts really just say that we're not we still have problems. We still have lots of division in race, as you can see from some of the facts. We also have division in income in terms of gender. And again, we can address those issues by providing financial wellness. And we also have the financial facts say that there's some problems with our socioeconomic groups, and it's all kind of based on education. Again, there's a big gap there, but by providing financial wellness, we can actually we can help change that a bit. We also know that the financial facts that also there's by failing to transition our teens out of the house, it's costing the parents more money. But again, with more financial wellness and education, we can help potentially reduce that. We also know that our financial wellness facts also indicates that our communities are not as safe as they used to be. There's a lack of money, education, and hope. And then there's crime. When there's a lack of equity and support and wellness, there tends to be crimes. When there's a lack of supportive families and leadership and mentors, there tends to be crime. And unfortunately, the financial facts also indicate that not only of our families not doing very well, but they're not doing very well, and it's causing lots of strife in relationships, and it's they're leading causes of divorce and marriage breakdowns, and divorces certainly cause lots of financial turmoil and so forth. So there's lots of problems that way as well. Again, that's without having the right financial wellness. And we also know that in addition that our financial facts, that we know that Canadians aren't doing very well. And again, these are all facts that you guys already know. And if the adults aren't doing very well, and our schools aren't actually teaching financial wellness in schools, and we also know that our teens are not necessarily getting the right career modeling at an early enough age, that we need to help our teens be a bit better. We also know that our teens aren't living the dream like they are in other countries, as the facts there indicate from the from UNICEF. And then in addition, we have we'll go into that. So what I really mean, or what we really mean by when we're talking about financial wellness and financial competencies. Again, that deals with your skills, it deals with your behaviors and your attitudes and your values, and that's combination, the character traits and best practices. When you put those together, that really refers to your competencies when you're dealing with money. So we can certainly address those issues if we can start forming more trust, because we know that once you understand what it is that you want, you therefore have access, you can get access to affordable and products and best services. You start feeling secure with sharing what it is that you want with somebody else. And therefore you actually start giving trust, and you start trusting the people that you need to work with. And then at the end of the day, you start to see trustworthiness in other people. As a result, you know that the people you're talking to, again, financial services, mortgages, bankers, real estate agents, car dealers, college loan officers, all those other things, you start trusting it in what it is that these guys are providing. And again, we can do that with financial wellness. We can start developing trust. We also know that, we actually start developing stronger relationships because you have the strategies to manage and maintain your life. You feel financially prepared. You start demonstrating a positive mindset, and you start seeing positive things that are happening. You start to develop a higher sense of self-esteem. You start paying attention to the whole person. You start, oh, well, listen, it's not just about, it's not just about working out in the gym. It's about being able to afford to work out of the gym, those type of things, right? You start showing compassion and empathy, which are all key factors that we need to building stronger and safer communities. You'll actually end up with an increase in wages. You'll start gaining career clarity. You'll start paying for upgrading skill sets because you see the value in it. You articulate your best practices to a future employer or a future consumer of your product if you're a business owner. And you actually start continually earning. You demonstrate your skills with low levels of stress, and therefore you end up you're more productive, and you can ask for raises. You can start achieving your goals. What that really means is you start generating and creating your own financial goals. You're shown how to create those SMART goals, develop an action plan to help you achieve those, and then you start implementing the plan. There's little research that supports that financial knowledge, just because you understand the quadratic equation, doesn't mean that you can apply it. Same's true with financial knowledge. You can understand what savings is, but if you can't apply it and fit it into your life, it's not really a skill that you're going to take action on and take appropriate behaviors. You can actually start tracking your financial goals by reviewing action plans, measuring results, and making adjustments to those goals along the way. So that's what competency does for financial wellness. You can also start leaving a legacy. You determine your success stories, and you can articulate those, and you can pass those on to generations. Therefore, people know that you live well. You identify best practices and start applying those best practices, and even start creating those best practices. You start selecting important traditions that you think are important to you and your family, and you pass those on. You start growing an estate. You build the net worth, and you can transfer that legacy responsibly. So all those things have a huge bearing on the equity, diversity, and inclusion problem. I won't say it's a problem, but things that we need to address in our communities right now. And financial wellness plays a big role in that. Not the only role, but a big role in that. So what I really mean by financial literacy, and again, these are camps, and these are seminars, and webinars that we actually transfer this information onto people. So again, the financial literacy aspect, there's more than just your typical saving, investing, budgeting, and spending. Those are traditional aspects of financial literacy, but really it includes a lot more in that. There's 12 different concepts there, and the education is massive. The traditional financial education is important, as well as the informal stuff. And again, that's by looking at books reading books and looking at different links and so forth. Then there's a non-formal stuff, and that's what we're after. We're after the non-formal stuff where we actually we'll run webinars, we'll run hopefully camps and so forth. And at the end of the day, they'll take that knowledge and that education and they'll transition that into an actual financial game plan that we hope to provide for them during this camp. And again, that those missing puzzles fit that bridge to make that that action plan to actually help them achieve their goals. Not necessarily our goals or the parents' goals, but it's actually what they want and what they're after. So this is really what we've done over the past couple of years. So for a couple of years, we actually have run a career choices webinar. And again, the webinar was all online. We had, I'll explain that in just a second. And then we also have, we want to expand this program into a Adventures in Camp that will integrate much more of these topics. And the reason we think the camp is the way to go is because in the webinar, we have collected all kinds of information. We know that they're after a couple of, when we ask some of these questions, these guys are, our students are actually after a couple of key things, in which I'll identify in the next slide here. And that information really is, it comes along with, well, again, I'll back up and just talk about some of the things that we've done here, I guess. In 2020, we had a career and financial wellness webinar. It was on Saturday. It ran for 3 hours. We had 17 that registered, only 12 attended. We had 7 presenters. And the reason we did this program is we wanted to promote our other Rotary programs, while we're also providing career and financial best practices. So that's what we tried to do in 3 hours. We found out it was by surveys. We found out it was a bit too much. It wasn't necessarily what the outcomes were good, but we thought we could get better results. And then in 2022, we made some choices and decisions. We cut it from a 3 hour down to a 1 hour, ran it at night rather than on a Saturday. We got a lot more registered and we had a few more attended. Again, with the same idea, those are some of the things we did. So we were able to promote all of our programs as a result of just that webinar. So now we have more students that actually understand some of the programs that we have out there. These were the presenters that we had this year. I know that a few of them a few are new. Some were some of the same that we have in there. And again, there are accountants. There's a couple of people that were involved in agriculture. We had a business coach. We had electrician and trades, which is really important. We had a lawyer that was there. We had a financial advisor. And again, these are 20-minute breakout rooms where we had, and there was a couple breakout rooms each time during the hour. And we had students that signed up. We put them into each of the breakout rooms the way that they wanted to. And then they just listened to the advisors or to the speakers talk about best practices. Really, at the end of the day, the speakers were talking about how to go from A to B, how they went from A to B. Talked about the futures of their careers and the integration of AI and things like that. We encourage people to have videos so that they can actually play the 5-minute video, spend the next 15 minutes answering questions. But most actually just, they had PowerPoints they went through and they just talked. And again, we had really nice reviews on how the presenters, how they did and so forth. But again, it's collecting information, and the information that the students told us that they wanted really came out with leadership. They wanted more leadership. They wanted to improve their communication skills, and they wanted more information on entrepreneurship. So by having that, what we decided that we needed to do to provide them the financial education that they need to make better financial decisions, we came up with a 5-day camp. But at the end of the day, we're trying to run this camp, but it's a pilot. So we're trying to do this with the best way possible. So maybe the first go around, because we want to keep it small, we're sure we're going to make some mistakes. So what we'll do is we'll actually maybe pare it down so we're only running this for 4 days, keeps the cost low as well, and allows us to again fine tune it as we go. So we're looking to try to generate about 20 to 30 students this during this first camp. So I think at the end of the day, we're trying to make this, we're trying to make our district 5360. We want to make our community stronger and safer, and we can't do this on our own. This is too big of an issue. It affects too many lives. Now I'm a bit biased, but this is as important as polio, because this goes all across the world. You know, this lack of financial wellness is a massive issue that I believe that we as Rotarians, we actually can help chip away at some of those problems as a result of doing the right things. Do we have all the answers? Absolutely not. Do we need more help and support? Absolutely. Do we need more people that are involved in our program? Absolutely. Who's our target market? Well, we need, you know, we'll focus on youth, but we're really focused on interactors right now. But, you know, we're always encourage our interactors to bring a friend, because at the end of the day, we're trying to increase in the number of people that are members of Interact programs. So bringing a friend is always a good thing to do as well. Rick, did I miss anything that I should have mentioned?
No, I think, John, you covered the, actually amazed that you got through it that quickly. Yeah, let's, don't see we have any questions in the chat, so let's open it up. I think what you can probably appreciate that John is pretty passionate about this financial education and financial wellness, and he's shown, I'd say, compelling facts that tell us that Rotary could or should do something to kind of address that. We maybe play a role here. And I think the link is to our Interact clubs, because they're kind of they're Rotary's future in some ways. And they, you know, they are sponsored by Rotary clubs. So I see it as a membership strategy. I see it as a learning and development strategy. I see it as just building stronger communities. This is not, you know, if we continue to deliver the career webinars virtually, we can potentially have a couple a year and invite, even if we wanted to, invite Interact club by Interact club, although it would be nice to get, we're trying to find ways of connecting our Interact clubs a little bit better. And then I think the camp, it's a pilot. If you think of RILA, Ripen, and RAAC, it's kind of that similar concept. So we're trying to, you know, John brought it to our club first, and we decided that we would try to take it and make it a district initiative, but we can't do so without the support of the clubs. So I think John is looking for initially some questions that you may have about it if we haven't answered everything. And more importantly, looking for some level of support to say we should do this. It's unfortunate we've got I think we've got 3 clubs represented here, including myself and Lethbridge East and Olds. I was hoping that we'd have a couple more in tonight, but it doesn't look like they're going to join us. So yeah, let's open it up to Q&A to start with, and then let's give us your feedback. We're looking for what's your thoughts and where you think we should go with this. Bob?
Yeah, John. Yeah. Bob Jones from Rotary Club of Lethbridge East. I'm the club advisor with the Interact Club at Winston Churchill High School in Lethbridge. They're a club with, on the books, they have about 100 members, but attending each weekly meeting is somewhere between 30 and 40 people. They're very active in the community. They do a lot of stuff, a lot of small projects. And I'm sure, would be very interested in the camp. Now, I quickly saw the dates, and I think it's the end of June. Is that correct?
Correct, yeah.
So that's straight after the school year finishes.
Correct, yeah. And the reason we chose that date was we're trying to, because there's Ripen, there's RILA, there's RAAC, there's there's lots of camps, and we're trying not to, we're promoting, we don't want to take away people going to those other camps. So we just tried to pick a day that maybe wasn't during Stampede, but anyway.
Yeah.
Do you have a suggestion, Bob?
Yes.
I think you've got to advertise it more with the Interact clubs. You've got to get them on side. Maybe, I think I saw recently where there was going to be a meeting of all the presidents of the Interact clubs in the district. If you could maybe get a Zoom meeting going with the presidents of the Interact clubs and explain what's going on and get them on side, then they can promote the program within the clubs.
Mhm.
And I think they can do that a lot better than I can.
Great idea.
Thanks, Bob. Donna or Jennifer, anything you'd like to ask or say?
Sorry, and what is the location for the camp going to be in Calgary?
Yeah, we have it at tentatively. I booked it for Victoria or Victory Village. Not many people have heard of Victory Village, but it's actually it's a place off of over across from Valley Ridge. It's up in the I guess it'd be on the west side as you're heading out towards Banff on Highway 1. It's a white building that stands just out there. It used to be an old church. In fact, it probably is still a church, but it actually used to be a hotel. And so there's 30 rooms in there. They have a huge auditorium. They have lots of great stuff. I went out to tour it a bit. And again, so we're trying to host people there, you know, especially people coming in from Lethbridge. But if you don't, if there are people that are, you know, in Calgary, I guess I don't see a problem with them not staying and going back home and so forth. But I guess we would encourage everybody to stay, but at the end of the day, it keeps those costs down and so forth. So great question. Thanks.
Yeah, no, I think it sounds like a really great idea. I actually work as a career practitioner for Chinook's Edge School Division. And this is a topic that comes up all the time, is making sure students know how to navigate career choice, and financial literacy comes up all the time. And so I know as a school division, we're working on introducing some courses around career development and around financial literacy. Because that's feedback we get from parents and from students all the time, is that they're like, well, I left school and I knew Pythagorean theorem, but I didn't know how to, apply for a mortgage or, those types of things. Right. So, we have our club meeting tomorrow, so I'll definitely take this back to the club. Debbie wasn't able to be here, and she's kind of our main Interact go-to. Our Interact club here in Olds is definitely smaller than the one at Winston Churchill, but they are still pretty active. So I can probably guarantee there'd be a few students for sure that would be interested. Right. I know myself personally, I would love to help however I can. Like I said, this is my career, this is what I do every day. So I'm pretty passionate about it too. But from a club perspective, like I said, we can take it back to the club tomorrow morning and kind of give them the Coles notes. And I'm sure, I don't want to say for sure, but I'm pretty sure there'll be some support there in terms of us helping, or, at least promoting it to our Interact club, that type of thing. So
Jennifer, that's music to our ears. No,
Donna, do you want to add anything to it?
Sorry, I had to pop out there for a minute, so I missed some of the stuff. So you maybe already mentioned it, but how long is this camp? Like, is it just like an hour to a day? Is it all day? What are you thinking with this camp?
Well, the camp's actually already put together. I mean, it's all done with videos and questions and so forth. And so I'll say the days are full. But
so
the cost is based on us spending $50 a day, so we can take people go karting downhill and miniature golfing, go to the batting cage, things like that. So we're building in activities and food and breaks and all kinds of things that we can bring in guest speakers to speak of, college recruiters, that type of stuff, to bring people in. So we'll do whatever we need to do to make it work. But so if it's temporarily set for 5 days, but we can always pare it back to 3 or 4 days based on your feedback, things that we need, that we don't understand yet.
Right. So where is it then?
It's at a place, it's in Calgary. It's a place
Calgary?
called Victory Village. It's
Don't
over
know
by
it, but
Valley Ridge Golf Course in the Wynn Sports Complex.
so then is there overnight accommodation? Like, so they would stay overnight and
It
and
has
that's all.
3 rooms, two to a room, so we can put in 60 people, but we're trying to keep it low, 20 to 30, so we can make our mistakes on 20 to 30 and have them come back, but then branch it off and build it so it's bigger and better.
Right. Yeah, I strongly believe that young people don't get enough financial literacy, and this is way more that I've been involved with. For a short time, I was involved with presenting a program put out by the Canadian Bankers Association that taught some financial literacy to grade 11s. We would go into the school, and it touched on savings, credit, cost of credit, just and I thought that was really good, because so many kids have no concept of, if you buy something on a credit card, what that means and how long it's going to take them and what it's going to cost them. One of my favorite questions had to do with that. So this is, a little bigger scope than that, but I definitely believe that there is some definite room for financial literacy and wellness.
We will talk about, if I have my way, or if we have our way, we'll talk about virtually every financial aspect there is to financial wellness, from banking to investing to saving to getting a career, how to fill out a resume, going to school, how to buy a car, how to, blah, blah, all those things, right? They'll all be addressed. Because those are questions that our students ask. They go, well,
Right.
How do you budget? Or why do you budget? Or, I don't even know if I want to go to school. I don't know I don't see the value in that, and all kinds of things. So they ask us lots of questions. So we're addressing the issues.
That's good.
Anybody else?
John, what were the dates of the camp again?
24 to 28. So it's a Monday to Friday.
Okay,
But please,
thank you.
please keep in mind that we've just temporarily have a booking on that place.
Right.
It's not firm, and as John said earlier, we may want to or need to abbreviate it a little bit, shorten it up a little bit. Just quality is for me the priority here, not the quantity. So, and I guess, I think this is a concept. We were just trying to test the waters to see if you were in favor of something like this, and it sounds from the 3 of you that you are. And I guess for me, the question would be, Ripon, I just saw the other day, it's $600, I think. Ryla is $500. If normally those, in many cases, they're sponsored by Rotary clubs, the students that attend. They don't all come from Interact clubs, but would you think your club would be willing to support this camp by sponsoring a student or 2?
I'm sure we would.
Thanks, Bob.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Olds would probably look at something like that too, and I can verify that for you tomorrow morning.
Well, that would be great. I really appreciate your support here. It's just like, for me, it's unfortunate we don't have more around the table, but you are the Interact leads for your club, and that's muchly appreciated. Interact is one of my favorite Rotary programs, and I'm trying to do what I can to support them and help them to learn and grow and become stronger, more community-minded people. And maybe when the time is right, they'll also join Rotary. So I don't know, anything else, John, from your side?
No, I'll just go back to the communications, and again, knowing what it is that you want. Certainly, finding skill sets to help you communicate those things are really important. And again, helping students learn those skill sets is again key. Leadership, being able to lead, you know, your family, lead your community, lead your business, lead the, you know, the nation, all kinds of things. Leadership is so important. But also the key also here is that, you know, Canada needs more businesses. They need more entrepreneurs. They need more, I mean, they're the backbone of our communities and so forth. So we need more of those. And I found that over the years of studying that if business owners don't understand personal finance, they may be somewhat successful, but they won't be as successful as those that really understand personal finance. So the whole financial aspect and understanding personal finance is crucial to our communities and so forth. So even with the newcomers coming into Canada, I know that we spend about $7,300 per person per year that is actually in poverty, and unfortunately a large majority of 26% of newcomers, you know, that they just fall into that, and it's just bad. And so we got to help them. It's our responsibility to make sure that we help them out. So good. Thank you guys. I appreciate your time. Again, you guys obviously are doing a great job. You're here. People want you to be leaders. So I look forward to working with you guys, even one-on-one and even in the camps and stuff like that. So.
Well, thanks, John, for your great presentation. I know you spend a lot of hours putting it together to kind of convey a message. And if I could kindly ask you to send all the registrants a copy of your PowerPoint slide deck tomorrow. And this, as I mentioned, this meeting has been recorded, and I will attempt to send everyone an email with a link to the video recording that's on our district YouTube site, probably by Friday. So look for an email from me, and we'll be back in touch. I think we were going to kind of ruminate on what we heard, and I like Bob's idea of the all Interact President's Forum, which I think is coming up. And that would probably be a good opportunity if we had the time to make at least an abbreviated version of this presentation. And yeah, with that, I want to thank everybody again for giving us 3/4 of an hour of your time this evening. And this will allow Donna to get on to her next multi meeting tonight. And so thanks everybody. And I wish you a good evening and an even better day tomorrow. Thank you.
Love it.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.